Hello YouTube, and Happy New Year! And welcome back to another episode of my Hypothetical Winx Club reboot. My name is Teddy. Welcome to the show! Today we're talking about a character that is certainly a fan favorite and that I've been pretty excited to draw. I hope you like purple, because today we're doing Darcy. I've actually talked about her a bit in a past installment, as when my reboot begins, Darcy and Musa have both recently gone through a pretty rough breakup with each other. They had begun dating before either of them went away to school, when Musa started doing her father's deliveries into Melody, and one of her stops was Darcy's parents' shop. They connected over their shared disdain for their jobs and working for their parents, and their desires to go out into the world and do something big. Darcy's parents wanted her to go into medicine, which in this world does involve some magic. Since there was no history of fairies in her family, it was very unlikely that Darcy would get wings. And at 17, she was almost past the age where they manifest anyway. All of this meant that she had been looking into witchcraft as a career, maybe even going to Cloud Tower if she could, but as she confessed to Musa, she was thinking about looking at other witch focuses besides healing once she got there. As her supportive and rebellious girlfriend, Musa encouraged her, and she was even planning on applying to Cloud Tower herself. Then Musa got her wings and everything changed. It was Darcy who ended the relationship, but to be honest, her reasoning was pretty lame. She just couldn't see herself with a fairy, even though she felt so strongly for Musa. And once she got to Cloud Tower, Darcy rebounded like crazy. It wasn't hard either, since practically half the school instantly had a crush on her. She just has this quality about her, you know? Because of this, her friendship with Stormy was actually a huge relief, since she knew that she wouldn't be secretly hoping for something more from her. They just felt like sisters, which she needed. As for Icy, she was basically just a huge bitch to her for no reason when they first met, and Darcy thought it was hilarious. The three of them managed to get switched into a dorm together, and it was full besties mode from then on out. Another part of school starting meant the annual commencement gala, which Cloud Tower was invited to as one of the big three schools. I hate that in the show. First of all, they have it on the second day of classes, which is insane. They just cancel class and have a giant ball with no prior warning.
Classes are canceled, and this is just our second day?
What do we have to do for the party?
And second, what do you mean Cloud Tower students aren't invited? It's just Althea and Red Fountain, and that's so messed up. Like Farragonda, I get it, you have your little rivalry ex-wife thing going on with Griffin, but don't drag the students into it. They're just a bunch of teenage girls. Let them go to the party. Ugh. Anyways, in the reboot, it would be at the end of the first week of classes, and students from each school would meet up at one of the three, with the venue rotating every year. With whatever shenanigans go down that episode, Darcy would keep running into Riven. Not in a battle kind of way, they just keep noticing each other at the event. Then one day when Darcy is just practicing a little scrying spell, she decides to check out what Musa's doing. Because she's totally the person who would check her ex's Instagram every day, 'cause she's still hung up on her. Anyway, during that spell, she sees the guy from the party there with her ex-girlfriend, and Musa is totally failing at flirting with him. So she decides she's going to go after him too. There's no hypnosis or love spell or anything like that. Darcy just wins Riven by knowing how to play her cards right. She's much more upfront when flirting, like the opposite of how Musa flirts, so Riven actually can pick up on it. He likes a girl who takes initiative. Also, the tricks wouldn't officially start working for Darkar until a third of the way through the season. So if it's a 21 episode season, it would be 7 episodes in. Oh yeah, do you guys want to see a design for Darkar? I haven't really thought about it because I just don't find him memorable, but I wouldn't mind doing a monster design. It's kind of different from what I usually do. Let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in that at all. I'll take a crack at it. I can't promise that it'll be like good or very interesting, but if you guys have ideas too, let me know and maybe I'll incorporate them into the design. Anyways, yeah, so Darcy and Riven would start dating an episode or two before this, giving her some fun inner conflict when she's deciding on if she's going to follow Icy and take up Darkar's offer for power. Because they're not evil to start off the show. I am mentioning it again. She would probably make up her mind pretty quickly though and just convince herself that Riven would eventually join them. I mean, he is dating her, and I don't know if you noticed, but Riven is kind of a bad boy, so I don't know. Really, when it comes down to it, she'll always pick Icy and Stormy over him though. She's gonna put them first. So even though he's her boyfriend and she does really like him, if he's gotta go, he's gotta go. Even if it means he goes running right back to Musa. When Darcy begins studying at Cloud Tower, she's unaware of her connection to the Ancestral Witches. The last person in her family that did know was her paternal grandmother, who had decided to never tell her children. Both of the other Tricks were aware of their own heritage, but it was Icy who figured out that Darcy was the third descendant. I think that there might be a prophecy involved in all of this about many years down the line, family members of the Ancestral Witches coming back to finish their mission. I'm not solid on that though, but I think it would be fun and interesting. I mean, I feel like it's always the good guys who get the prophecies and get to feel like the chosen ones. And to Darcy, this would make total sense. It validates her own self-importance, and it gives this destiny feeling to her meeting her best friends. She thinks very highly of herself, especially in regards to her powers. Neither of her parents ever had anything to do with magic. They own a few small businesses, a chain of shops in Melody that may sell a few elixirs here and there, but neither ever practiced magic a day in their lives. Yet, despite this, Darcy had excelled in the medical magic intro class and seminar she had attended, even though she only really took them as a way to get out of work. Yeah, Darcy did not like having to work for her parents. It's something she and Musa would bond over, except Musa loves her dad a lot and spent a good amount of time with him growing up. Darcy never had that kind of connection with her parents. They spent most of their time looking after their stores and going out, and before their successful businesses, they moved around a lot looking for work. So now with Icy and Stormy, Darcy has people she can rely on, people who make time for her and who she knows will always have her back. No more being told what to do by people who have no idea what her life is even like. With the Tricks, she rules the school, and now she's able to spend her time studying spells for a taste of real power. Icy and Stormy helped her with the basics, and thanks to some all-nighters, she's catching up quickly. You would never guess any of the three of them were freshman witches. To me, it seems like Darcy is not only the fandom's favorite witch, but she's also a fan-favorite character in general. And I mean, even though I think personally my favorite Tricks is Icy, I can't say I don't see why Darcy gets so much love. There's something very elegant about her, and she has so many interesting relationships. I mean, who doesn't love a good love triangle? And in this case, it's a real love triangle. All sides connected. Her design is also really fun. She's got this retro 70s thing going on with the bell bottoms and the glasses and stuff. I definitely kept a lot of the elements of her first outfit pretty much the same as her original look, except I made her pants that like stretchy fabric instead of denim. Maybe they could even be like velvet, but I think giving her these pants that are like known for making your butt look fantastic works really well for her. Heads turn in the hallway when she walks by. For her outfits, I actually used a lot of references of the style Bohemian Grunge, and I could picture her wearing almost everything that I saw under that Pinterest label, if only they were purple. Although, I think she's not really a fan of open-toed shoes or sandals for some reason. She just seems like a boot girl to me. For her hair, obviously I kept it long, but I made it a lot fluffier and a bit wavy. And no longer is her hair that weird shade of green. I just had to change it. I had to. But those front sections are pretty much the same color as they are in her original design. I think she definitely bleaches them herself. One of my favorite things about Darcy's original design is her nose. I feel like it's rare for a cartoon to have a girl character with an aquiline nose, but I think they're so beautiful, especially with her cute glasses. And my version of Darcy here is clearly not white. She is from Magix, of course, but going by Earth ethnicities, since that's where you and I are from, her ancestry would be from a lot of different places, but mostly Pakistan. For her second outfit, I kept that warm purple with what I imagined to be suede boots and a suede skirt. But for her top, I actually made it the original color of her hair, and you can really see how green it is. It's totally crochet, by the way. She also has a little purple ribbon around her neck that I imagine she got when she was dating Musa to match the ribbon that Musa wears on her arm. The little crystal necklace is a reference back to that bohemian style, and I also pictured Darcy to be the most classically witchy of the tricks, really indulging in the traditions and the wardrobe. So, of course, she would be into crystals. Being a witch is still new to Darcy, so the novelty hasn't quite worn off like it has for Icy and Stormy. And she was already a night owl, so now she just stays up late learning and practicing new spells and rituals. I think she always saw herself as being better than the average person, whether it be in regards to intelligence, looks, cleverness, or like anything else, but once she finds out that she's descended from one of the most powerful witches ever, her ego is just off the charts. To Darcy, she's the main character. Well, her and her sisters. Oh, reminder, they're not actually sisters, they just call themselves that. Many generations back, their grandmas are sisters, so they're distant cousins. Like I said in Stormy's video, witches' source of power is external, while fairies have an internal source of magic stored in their wings. A witch does not have an official title like a fairy would, however, they do connect with a part of the world around them through which they channel their magic. For Darcy, that part of the world is people, civilization, and the part of our brains that make us come together and live in society. I know that seems a lot more complicated than Stormy's connection to storms, but if we're being honest, her connection is more like chaos and nature, so she doesn't really have anything too simple either. Witch magic is really difficult. It's a lot harder for them to master their practice than it is for fairies, whose connection to magic just kind of comes naturally. I mean, Darcy has always been manipulative, but now her psychological games are on a whole new level. And remember how I said she knows a bit of medical magic? Well, since body and mind are pretty connected, she's actually an excellent healer, which is good because the tricks get their butts kicked a lot. These power sets can be very dangerous when put together in the hands of the wrong person. But despite how much control Darcy seems to have, she really isn't disciplined or patient enough to experiment with her magic in the necessary ways to develop such dangerous techniques. I was talking to my partner about my ideas for this video, and he brought up, her being able to trick the mind into stopping the body, from breathing or something, and that would be terrifying, but I don't think she would be capable of anything like that, at least not at 17. A spell like that as a witch would be incredibly difficult and very advanced. And I mean, as a person, she's not like Zahir, you know? I don't think she's murderous. Maybe after she spends a little time in Light Rock, maybe then. But for now, Darcy's approach to magic is just quantity over quality. She learns a lot of spells really fast without ever really mastering them. However, she is very powerful naturally, just like her sisters. I think even though it's not a thing for witches in my reboot, the Tricks would still insist on calling themselves their titles from the show. Like, Darcy would be proclaiming herself Witch of Illusions, as if taking claim of her magical style. That's also why I kept their initials on their witch outfits, even though I think they are so tacky. And hers is on her boot to represent how her self-absorption and narcissism are generally a little bit more subtle and manipulative. Also, her witch outfit is a cooler shade of purple than her normal purple, which it's like that in the show, but I kept it because I like how it differentiates her witch form from her casual clothes. Last video I asked you guys about witch forms, and I think the way that they'll work is that they are physical costumes that witches wear to practice magic and train, almost like a superhero costume, and then only high-level witches are able to actually transform magically like fairies can. This makes the Tricks doing it so often and so easily very impressive, even though they're just showing off. I'm really happy with Darcy's design. I struggled a lot with Stormy's, so it was nice being able to work on a character I had already done some brainstorming on in a past episode. I really enjoy the idea of having Darcy start out as kind of a neutral character, and then we get to see her journey into really embracing evil and becoming one of the descendants of the ancestral witches. And it would be so good to see Musa's reaction as it happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love doing this series. It's a fantastic creative outlet, and I love reading what you have to say in the comments. I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about this one, actually. If you like this, subscribe for more. I bet you'll never guess who's getting redesigned in the next video. Bye!